Victorian century with 500 million GDP and 50 million population, our capital alone 1.2 billion GDP in just the Japanese core islands and 2.5 billion within our power block. We played until 1936 and have massively industrialized by playing Tola's Japan. We're getting 9 million national revenue on very low taxes and 15 on very high, while still maintaining an emperor, and with the majority of our population being our primary culture. A promise is a promise, guys, and despite not getting the like goal, I still decided to do the second and final part of the Japanese campaign. Now, if you enjoyed this and you want me to do a brand new Qing campaign, if we get 3,000 likes in this video, I will do the ultimate Qing run, where we'll attempt to get 5 billion GDP with just the Qing lands. And if you enjoy the content, consider subscribing, would really help me out massively. Also, if you're considering to get the new DLC for Vicky 3, consider using my link in description. I get a commission for every purchase, and I really would appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. Now, boys, there's a few reasons why I want to do the second and final part of the campaign for Japan. First off, if you watch the first part, you likely will understand the game a little bit better if you're newer or even more advanced to the game. But there's not many videos out there, at least from my channel, that show the potential of the late game and how different it is compared to the early phase, which is going to be one of the main things I'm going to focus on. So I'm going to first off show you guys the world of 1898. Right now, by GDP, we are first in the world, 30 million above the British Raj, which is extremely powerful, then followed up by the Kingdom of France, Russia, and Great Britannia, which has actually fallen behind a little bit. Standard of living wise, we are second in the world right after Oyo, which surprisingly, despite being a single province, has 23 million GDP. They are a puppet of the British Empire, so obviously the reason why they're so good economically is because the British have basically been building everything in here. I mean, pretty much everything is owned by some other entity around the British Empire, not by the Oyo people themselves. As for us, we have our own power block, the Trade League of the Asian Co-Prosperity Sphere, and we are gaining roughly every 30 months or so a new mandate, which we can use towards making more principles. That's because pretty much all of our subjects are doing pretty good right now. Some of our highlighted subjects, as you can see right here, are Tidor, which has 20 million GDP, and I'm planning to give all of Indonesia to Tidor in this campaign. The Philippines is also doing pretty good, also at 30 million GDP. We just got the Philippines from the Spaniards, our old allies, I guess. We also have the Marina Kingdom. We also have Tibet, Burma, and everybody else in Southeast Asia. Here's the thing, right? Right now, we have some issues. First off, we've got zero population which we can employ. That is the biggest issue. So we've basically reached our cap for GDP unless we change that somehow. How we change that? Technology is one way, and we're working on that. We're getting 193 innovation plus about 200 spread as well every week, so we got quite a bit of that going. But we do need to get more electricity production methods to continue to electrify our country, as such free up population to work in the factories rather than transportation. And with less factories, us will be able to get more products out on the market. One clear example here is if we change over to the rotary valve engine, because we haven't even done the whole min-maxing of production methods, but if we do here, one example, we get 114,000 pops, which are going to instantly get employed in other fields within Tokyo that require this, and we still have an insane balance from the steel mills alone. Once we electrify this and we go for the electric arc processes, it's going to get even better, but we do need to make sure we have the electrical power plants, which obviously we need a lot more of. Overall, from an economic perspective, we're doing really good right now. 1.69 million national revenue on very low taxes, and we only have a little bit of unrealized tax. The investment pool is amazing too. We're getting 830,000 reinvestment, which is crazy. So obviously we're going to need to increase the amount of construction that we're getting. We're going to have to build some in Shikoku, Hokkaido, Kurofuto, and Ryukyu, our only provinces. As you can see, we only have the actual Japanese islands, nothing else outside of it. I've given all of my colonies off to my subjects, and I've also made an actual colonial South Africa in the southern tip of Africa here, where we don't need to handle the colonization ourselves, so we can leave it up to our little Schnippeldorp. Actually, it's kind of funny, they only have a single entrance point into Namakala, and if something happens to that, it is Jover for this colony. My real goal would actually actually be to get 5 billion GDP as Japan by 1936. However, I'm realistic. The only way I could get 5 billion GDP is if I changed my playstyle and I would expand. It's easy for me to get 5 billion with my current situation. If I was to eat all of Qing, maybe annex my subjects, and even transfer the British Raj, then that would be doable. But here's the tough, I don't want to do that. I want to see if I'm able to achieve, even if it's not 5 billion, maybe 3 billion or 2 billion or whatever. I want to just see how much income I can get by 1936 with just the Japanese islands. That means that 58 million population is not going to cut it. Now, we have legislation that increases our population growth a tiny bit. Namely, we're still on legal guardianship and such, but it's still not enough. So what we have to do is we have to change our citizenship law to either cultural exclusion in the worst case or multiculturalism in the best case. And that's going to be really tough. Now, if we do that, second step would be to break apart Qing, turn them into like 10 little subjects that we can have. So we're going to subjugate whatever we liberate afterwards, because these pops here are a similar culture to ours. Han Chinese. Han have quite a decent acceptance if we are on cultural exclusion. So we could potentially have 200 to 300 million pops migrate from China to Japan, which would allow us to even maybe reach 5 billion. Realistically, that would be possible if I did this 10 years ago when I still had a shot at multiculturalism. Now it's going to be a lot more difficult, but not impossible. So we'll see how it goes. We'll try our best for sure. I'm also going to continue to change the legislations in my subjects, because we do have some horrible legislation in some of these nations here. We need to make sure we bring them on par with our laws. I'm trying to get interventionism, for example, in Burma. That should be a big deal for them. My biggest success when it comes to legislation imposing on subjects has been Champasak. Now, this nation here is really interesting because they got agrarianism, they got tenant farmers, they banned schlabbery, so they're not too bad overall. We also have very, very little infamy, so I'm going to make use of that, and I'm going to start getting more subjects and more areas around the world from which we can filter population in the future into Japan again once we have cultural exclusion or any sort of legislation that allows us to get more pops from there. Also going to be expanding into South America, with Argentina being the first of the South Americans that we're going to grab a hold of, because these are minor nations, so that means we get more mandate from them, and as such we can get our principles a little bit faster. They're also not bad overall from a resource standpoint, but they only have a little bit of GDP and basically no population. Unfortunately, the way it stands right now, South America is a dead area in most campaigns, unfortunately for the South Americans at least. Chile is going to be a little bit better than Argentina since they got most of Patagonia. Really important to mobilize these troops as well before you do any sort of attack into these nations. Surprised that Brazil still has slavery at this point in the campaign. Really, you guys, you got old age pension, but you still have this particular law. Like, how does that even work, Brazil? Also going to be starting the fund lobbies in all of my subjects that I'm acquiring right now, since that's going to help improve our loyalty, well, their loyalty with us. We also managed to get some new production methods, so we're going to make use of these production methods. Electric sewing machines especially is really huge, but as you can see here, we would lose productivity because we don't have electricity, so we're going to have to manually do this in every state whenever we have electricity available. Basically what that means is we have to start spamming electrical generating power plants. Also, we're going to need some electrics industries just so we get some telephones, which are going to be in high demand. And right now I'm spamming automobile industries, since automobiles are by far the most productive item to have, especially in the late part of the campaign, or at any point in the campaign really. There we go, Chile back down as well. The cool part is that I've been slowly but steadily increasing relations with everyone. So we got Russia protective, we got conciliatory, cooperative, protective. Every single freaking major nation loves us, kind of like they love Japan nowadays, right? There is one exception to that, the Americoomers. They're the only ones that hate us, but I'm not too worried about them. They don't even have access to the West Coast yet, so we should be fine. I'm gonna try and get better relations with the Mexicans. We actually have cautious right now with them, but maybe I can use the Mexicans against the Americans in the future. It is a bit of a cluster schnitzel in Peru though. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 Perus apparently, including Aymara. This is the very first time I've ever seen Aymara break away from Peru, Bolivia, and still exist somehow. Also, Peru, Bolivia is the one that colonized Alto Paraguay, which also, oh, we've got Mato Grosso as a nation as well that sprang out of Paraguay. What on earth is happening in this campaign, brother? I think also Corrientes was captured by the Brazilians, but it belonged to Argentina before, if I'm not mistaken. This is an interesting campaign for sure. Sheesh, we're producing 4,800 automobiles, and we still are not matching up our demand. We're the world's #1 producer of automobiles, followed by Oyo out of all nations. Speak of the schnitzel, that is crazy that Oyo is the second biggest producer of automobiles in the world. That is very unique for sure. But yeah, that basically means we have to get a lot more automobiles now. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna be spamming another 50 in Kanto, just so I have 100, and then I'm gonna do another, say, 50 over in Chubu just because I can. We also seem to have some issues with infrastructure, so I will be fixing these infrastructure issues right now. Another massive milestone, we finally got Advanced Research 3, which means that now our max innovation cap is 218. We already fulfilled those requirements because we've got a lot of extra universities, so we should be able to research everything a little bit quicker now. We've also been fiddling around with our production methods, and it's a bit of an up and down sort of situation, but we're getting there. Our biggest bane still is population, and I mean by a lot. Also decided to get 50 automobile industries in every single state. I'm literally going to become the ultimate automobile industry in the world, just like Japan historically has become, right? I mean, in recent years it is anyway. Also, we managed to finally overtake the Oyos, and we are the world's leading standard of living Chadikas. Also taking a bit more of a direct approach to certain parts of the Middle East. Namely, I'm directly taking ownership of Oman, whereas I will be temporarily owning it, of course. I will release it after I've conquered it. I want to conquer all of this area, so like all of Yemen, Najd, Oman, maybe even puppet Persia, and either give Persia the Arabian lands directly to own, or create a secondary subject here that is basically an Arab subject that owns all of these areas. That way I don't need to stress about this part of the world. They are ruled by their own people, and I just filter out whatever pops and resources I need. And I maintain true the fact that I only own the Japanese islands, of course. It's also time that I get more treaties with other nations, including the Russians, with which I would actually love to have a good trade situation. So we're getting a 25 years treaty where we get cheaper goods when trading with one another. They still have a lot of basic resources I could make use of. And look at that, my subjects are already invading Oman. Holy Schnitzeldorf. So what we could do is we could go for colonial offices. So at level 5 colonial affairs with this particular principle, we would get 25% less infamy from attacking unrecognized countries. And there is, let's say, quite a sizable amount of those around the world right now. Part 1 of Operation Schnickadoop is over. Now time for part 2. Now, unfortunately, we cannot really advance into Lahej or Kasimids because both of these are actually puppets of the Ottomans and the British Empire. So we're going to have to go into the rest of the free areas of the Arabian parts, as well as we're going to be attacking the Ottomans in a while, just so we can liberate Hejaz, Jabal Shamar, and give it to our future subject. The Ottomans actually had a pretty super good start, but they're falling behind everybody at a very fast pace. They're down to 135 million and dropping. People don't really invest in the Ottomans as much as they used to. And look at that, my little subjects of the Philippines and Vietnam already are invading Najd. I don't even need to mobilize my soldiers to win this war. Oh, I just realized half of Bahrain broke away and they're the country of Hormuz. Hormuz is a thing right now. That's crazy. Now, for those of you that are wondering, Ludi, why the hell did you just eat all of that instead of just puppeting a nation and giving them the lands after? Here's why. If you check my other subjects, I'm struggling my ass off to change their legislation to better off legislation. And for the Middle East, what's going to happen is we're going to go to release nation. Let's say we release Oman as our own subject. And if we go to their legislation, they have a copy paste of our legislation when we release them. So they got compulsory primary education, proportional taxation, interventionism, slavery banned, public schools, public health insurance, elected bureaucrats. Ethno-state maybe is not the best one, but still it's there. The thing is, they got really great legislation. So now we've got a great subject. We go back to our subjects tab and we start giving Oman the adjacent states next to them, and they just are honestly likely the best out of all the states, better yet best out of all the subjects that we have, since they have exactly the legislation that we'd like for them to have. So it's honestly just we're trading in essence infamy, because yes, we do take extra infamy when we do this, but what we get in return is a really good subject that we don't need to stress about afterwards at all, because this nation is not going to have revolts. People are going to be super, super happy to be living in here in essence. Oh, and for those of you that are wondering how the hell did I manage to get so much bureaucracy all of a sudden, that's because we changed to the telephone switchboard, which gives us an insane amount of bureaucracy. It does input telephones, which we have a lot of, so we're good. The good part about this is that we get an extra state construction efficiency of up to plus 10% if we have 100% excess. Now, we also have a little bit of bad news because the Americans have decided they have an interest in Qing. So more precisely, both the Americans and the British would like to grab the Joseon areas. And now we have claims on Joseon, but we have more than cordial relations with the Qing, so we cannot attack them. Instead, what we could do is we could force the open market. That's a thing. That way we start the war, and then we can add war goals like return state afterwards. Now, I know I said I'm only gonna have Japanese historical provinces, okay, and I'm still staying to that, but, you know, technically Taiwan and the Joseon areas were integral cores of Japan, okay? So I'm extending it to include this peninsula and this island. That's it. And then the rest of Qing, we're just gonna liberate, and we're gonna make the subjects out of those liberated nations, which we're gonna add to our power block. But directly, only this extra added, and Taiwan. For historical reasons, historical purposes. That's it. The only little change we're doing. Now, that being said, we are gonna liberate first in this war Yue, as well as we're gonna be liberating Yunnan. Both of these are massive. Yunnan alone has like 30 million, and Yue has like 40 million. So that's close to 70 million population that we're liberating out of Great Qing, and we're adding the two little states at the southern tip of the Joseon Peninsula. We're not grabbing all of it in this war anyway. Now, it also seems like the Prussians would like to grab Marina out of me. Well, we can call the Russians, which are our allies, and the French, which are also our defensive allies. So I think suffice to say that the Russians and the French are going to do all the heavy lifting. We don't need to worry about the Prussians at all. I guess we do need to add some war goals against them though. Maybe just money? Yeah, maybe money transfer is fine. I don't really care about Prussia too much. Give me some money, I'll be okay. We called in basically all of Europe here because we had defensive alliances with most of these nations. So good luck with that, Prussia. Big mistake trying to attack me. I mean, literally, look at this. Look at this, man. Oh, did we actually go to war with the Qing? I think we did, didn't we? Okay, fine. That's okay with me. We should be able to quickly advance through them. We got really good tech, and we're gonna be going for trench works next. I kind of should have done this a while back. I kind of just forgot about it. We really need to get some proper armies going. That's the one field where we're a little bit behind everybody else. Military, we are not on par with the English and such for now. Wait, is that the Tibetan flag? That genuinely is a really freaking cool flag. Look at that beautiful thing. All right, let's see the entirety of Europe destroying Prussia right now, because that's basically what's gonna happen right here. They got 134 million and roughly 500 battalions. They are so gonna get their asses handed to them, aren't they? Yep, look at that. They're losing on every single front imaginable, and we're also massively advancing through Qing. You know what I could do to help speed this up a little bit? I could do a naval invasion in my war goals here, or maybe a naval invasion in Beijing would work too. Wait, what did I just see? The Americans have attacked Constantine, which is getting help from Austria, the Ottomans, and Tripoli. What on earth is happening here? There we go. We already are enforcing on the Qing. It's just a matter of time at this point. Maybe we can also do a cheeky naval invasion now in Prussia, since we don't need all of our soldiers engaged in the Qing front anymore. And I'm pretty sure the Prussians would not be able to defend against a naval invasion whilst fighting on two fronts already. All right, now it's time to make sure we have all the right production methods in the newly conquered South Korean provinces. Also, we need to make sure these are fully incorporated, so let's go ahead and do that. 5 years incorporated is really delicious though. So in 1909, I think, or 1910, we can attack Qing again. In the meanwhile, we can get ready for the assaults on Yunnan and Yue, because both of these have to become a part of us. 25 million pops here and another 40 million, so that's 65 million population. Now, in order for pops from our subjects to migrate to us, and we need to make sure they do not have serfdom. Serfdom means their peasants cannot mass migrate, which is exactly what we need them to do. Fortunately, both of these nations have serfdom, so we're gonna have to help them out with it. Now, we do have 1.5 million pops we got from South Korea, so that's gonna be really, really good, actually. We can put that to swift use. With a couple of production method changes, we already reached close to 400 million GDP, which is wild. And we also managed to unlock trench infantry, which is huge for us. I do like to have my numbers round, so I'm gonna make sure that I have only 50 and 50 of infantry and shrapnel artillery for now, though. And there you have it. The Prussians are now officially giving us all their money. Also, I just realized both of these provinces don't have access to electricity, so we have to change that swiftly. Here, we've expanded our reach on South America with Peru, Bolivia joining the vassal swarm. Also, we reached 3.43 million on very low taxation for national revenue already. We're currently making almost 1.5 million in reinvestment alone. Makes me wonder if I, from the start of the campaign, actually went for aggressiveness. So if I went for full-on capturing Qing provinces from 1840, like how strong would Japan be now? I'm assuming I probably have 1.5 billion by this point in the campaign already if I had the Qing provinces. Also, this is not gonna work, bro. This is just horrible. I got a 1% chance of this passing. It's not even, there's no point to this. I'm gonna attempt to go for universal suffrage because we don't have that yet. Might help our situation a tiny bit. Let's see. Now the main issues are basically electricity and railway, because we need to catch up with that. Hold on a second. I just realized something. I've got 19 infamy. Maybe it's time for me to expand a little bit more. I've kind of been not expanding as much as I should, to be fair, and the other nations are taking advantage of it. Maybe I just take the rest of South America just because I probably would have an easier time with this. Oh my god, 170 million GDP in Tokyo, man. That is wild as schnitzel. Let's see, who's got more than us? No one. Second after us is West Bengal with 76 and East Bengal with 59. That is rookie numbers, boys. Another cool part about having subjects in areas with a lot of oil is that we basically have kind of domination of oil on the market, even though we're not the world's leading producer of oil. If we add up all of our subjects provinces that are producing oil, we are in fact leading producer. We also basically have 2 fleets now. I'm gonna get a 3rd fleet and I'm gonna get a 5th army too. We've reached the point in the campaign where nations are extremely aggressive, and if we don't have the soldiers to defend ourselves on multiple fronts, we might get schnappeldupe. I really hope UE backs down out of this. The reason I hope so is because if they back down, then I can attack them again to make them a puppet, and then I can easily enforce my legislations on them. Let's make sure we bring our boyos by the border here to more entice them to give up. Damn, they actually got quite a sizable army. Did these 2 nations we liberated take a big chunk of the Qing army with them? They did! Oh my god, Qing's a lot weaker now. That being said, they're still, they still got more pops than they start with, despite losing 20% of their country size. Come on, Yue, you're the one that needs to back down. Beautiful! They did back down. Okay, so we got Yue. Now let's go ahead and get Yunnan. Come on, Yunnan. You know you want to back down, buddy. You know you want to back down. Oh, we got dreadnoughts! That's huge! Okay, so we can start creating our 3rd fleet now. It's going to be 50 scout cruisers and 50 dreadnoughts, and in essence is going to be our primary attack fleet, more or less. You know what? I have 34 infamy. I think I'm just going to manually wait for the puppeting of Yunnan and Yue. Instead, I'm just going to focus a little bit more on grabbing more stuff from Qing now. Meiji also has come to power, finally, so now we can actually start reforming the country. Holy shit, this man is literally 59 years old. It is 1911. I should have had this guy a long time ago. He is an enlightened royalist, which means that he supports, that's right, boys, multiculturalism. So with the help of the king or emperor, we might actually be able to pass this freaking legislation. Fingers freaking crossed. Okay, whatever you do, Qing, it's very important that you do not back out of this particular war, because I really want to take a lot more than just freaking Korea in this war, please. All right, next war against Qing. This time, we're only liberating Shandong, which is 16 million population, and we're grabbing all of the rest of Joseon, as well as a few other parts here and there. Hey, we also got chemical fertilizer. That is going to come in massive handy, feeding all of those newly added to the power block pops in Qing. Our coffers are half full right now. We're standing at 52 million reserves. So you know what I could actually do? I'm going to just nationalize every single building that is not owned by my private sector. So if it's Qing, if it's Yunnan, if it's freaking whatever whatever else that is not Japanese, I will be freaking nationalizing it. I just realized I went for laissez-faire. I cannot nationalize shit. Oh god. This also explains why my coffers are going up. It's because I'm privatizing everything. Oh, I just realized I'm an actual puppet. Oh, how did I not realize that, bro? Laissez-faire is gonna be a game changer, though. I also have to say that I regret deeply the fact that I went for ethno-state. We had, like, I think we had racial segregation or cultural exclusion before. Now I'm struggling to get that back. I did this as a meme, and also because I wanted to be in the thumbnail for the previous part of this campaign, but I feel like that was the worst mistake I did in the entire freaking campaign. Maybe almost as bad as me not reloading the save when we were on the last phase with multiculturalism, and I had like 5% chance. If I reloaded the save, I would have passed multiculturalism. We probably would have had like 300 mil pops by now. Ooh, transfer Hejaz. Well. Wait, what the fuck is this? Oh my god, that is World War I. I'm not joining for Hejaz in that situation. Fuck no. There we go, boys. We got Manchuria, we got Shedong, and we got the rest of our rightful clay here. So let's make these fully incorporated states. Expedition to Antarctica. Let's see what we're gonna find. We're gonna send our best and brightest, Iwao Yamamoto, and we've also just turned Yue into a puppet. So now let's make sure that they are able to transfer pops to my country. Jesus Christ, I'm just realizing that 90% of the resources in Joseon are in the north. Like, look at this. They got lead mines, coal, iron, sulfur, all the resources in this one state, and almost all with the exception of sulfur in this other state. And they got quite a lot of them. 60 and 36 and 36. That is crazy. You know what? I might do a run as this nation if you guys want me to. Let me know in the comment section when 1.10 strikes, maybe, because it has a lot of potential, that's for sure. Holy freaking shit, we just jumped up to 51% endorsement for cultural exclusion. This might be it, guys. This actually might be it. We're also second in the world when it comes to prestige, and that is due to our sizable navy. 1,800 from navy alone. That's wild. Dude, the Russians are literally about to catch up to us. This is crazy, man. Maybe I should cancel my investment rights in their country. I mean, I'm making a buttload of money off of it, but I'm just not happy to see their GDP approaching my GDP. Oh my lord. We are getting a free puppet in Shedong by helping them against the vile Ottobrowskis, who apparently would like to extend into China. Yeah, we're not gonna do that, Ottomans. That is not on the table, sir. Best part is we actually have a land border with the Ottomans, so this should be a very easy war. Like I said, in the late game, AI decides to be insanely aggressive, so expect a lot of stuff like this to happen, and just always be on the lookout for a good opportunity to get something for yourself. Now, we also got diesel pumps and a lot of late game technologies that use oil. Problem is, there's not much oil in the world. Look at this. We're currently the 5th worldwide producer of oil, although most of the oil in the Netherlands is ours, as well as the one in Russia. We've basically built up all of those industries. Venezuela too, Tidor as well, Dutch East Indies as well, Chile as well. So we technically are like second or first, if you really think about it. Whatever the case, we still don't have enough oil. There's just not enough oil in the world market. It is crazy, the demand for oil. I feel like they really should add an option of, I don't know, getting oil from the sea or sea oil. Oh my god, that would be so cool. Yeah, we say apparently can do another 100 in Venezuela, so let's do those. Now, if you put the iron mines as well on diesel production, the oil demand has skyrocketed even more. Oh, actually, I forgot that I can build more iron mines in my own provinces. Oh my god, the Krakatoa explosion. This is gonna completely decimate my economy, isn't it? Brother, how is this? No, this is the worst. This is the worst. I hate this freaking event. We got 277 million GDP, and because of the devastation and everything that's gonna start increasing here, we're gonna lose a lot, and I mean a lot of everything. This is gonna set us back massively, actually. An attempt once more to go for graduated taxation. We failed it last time. If we pass this, instantly we get about 500,000 more income, which is insane. Also, historical naval invasion of Gallipoli by Japan in 1920 totally happened, by the way. And I love to see that the Ottomans still have wooden ships in 1920. That is just bruh moment right there. I'm sorry. What? I can make Qing a protectorate for just 38 infamy. Brother, I am doing it right now. What? Yeah, this is like the ultimate boss right here. This is literally the ultimate boss. We won by doing this, basically. Also gonna add a little addendum here of the conquest of Lanfang by Tidor, just because I don't want to have Lanfang as an independent nation when it can be a part of Tidor. We have a pretty decent chance of actually passing this now that I think about it. 40% from checkpoints. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Also, unless the Qingians back down, we're gonna have basically world war. We got the British on our side, and we got the Ottomans on the side of Qing, so it's gonna be very easy to win World War, let's just say, because we already won against the Ottomans once. We're in essence just picking on the dying man of Europe. It's not even the sick man of Europe anymore at this point. And with Qing as my subject, there you go, they back down. I'm not surprised. So with these guys as my subject, holy shit, the Asian co-prosperity sphere is in essence done. Now we just need to make them a puppet, and then afterwards we get rid of some land reforms so they can start giving us basically all of their pops. Only problem now is that my beloved Russian ally is pissed off. Not surprised. I got 61 infamy and I got the big chunk of land right next to them. I'm the biggest bordering nation to them right now in essence, so this might be an issue. They're still second in GDP right after me, so yeah. Let's actually see the ledger. What's going on here? So the Russians are second. US is third. Did they get the rest of Mexico? They didn't. How are the Americans so strong, brother? It's almost as if all the industry in the US is on the East Coast, which that's basically exactly what is happening. I'm still shocked though that prestige-wise I am behind the British. How are they able to maintain 12 freaking thousand prestige with half my GDP? They quite literally have half my freaking GDP at this point, man. Less than half. Okay, I need to see this because I'm actually curious. It's gotta be all those companies. Okay, so they're a leading producer of a couple of things, some time modifiers. The main thing is the Navy and the GDP of subjects. Oh, you're right. Raj is still a subject of the British. Also, holy mother of God, we're basically 4.5 million on very low taxes already and growing. And these guys are about to become a puppet too, so we can start munching into their pops as well. Yo, guys, my private sector is having an actual field day right now. Look at the amount of stuff they're building in the newly acquired subjects. We're gonna get so filthy rich, it's crazy. Also, my reinvestment fund is now up to 3.2 million already. That is wild. Okay, we're basically overshadowing everybody now with GDP. Jesus, man, our investment pool is growing so freaking fast. It's crazy. So that means we need more construction basically. I'm gonna start changing more of my states to the arc welding production method, which requires a lot more electricity. Right now we only have Chugoku and Kanto on doing that, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do Kansai as well next. Boom. That means we're gonna have to increase the amount of power plants we have here. We can do the same for Chubu, which already has quite a few extra power plants, I guess. Fuck it, I'm gonna do all of them. There you go. All of them. Beautiful. 8,000 construction, boys. Now let's fix the power issues, because apparently in Kanto alone, we're missing 18,000 electricity. We have 550 power plants, so we're going to need at least 1,000 more. I mean, 100 more. Holy mother of God, this actually is insane. This genuinely is insane. Brother, what is happening right now? Look at my shortages. They're everywhere. This is wild. And we went to voting phase with graduated taxation, so it actually might pass. Holy freaking fingers crossed. Is there anywhere else we can build? Nope. That is the max amount of construction unless we decide to take more states. Actually, maybe I'm gonna take Taiwan. I mean, they're already my subject now, so it's a little bit late for that. Jesus, man, my income literally went up by 1.5 million the second that I went for graduated taxation. Holy frack. Well, boys, my plan is definitely coming into fruition. Check this out. We are now getting a buttload of migrants from China especially, well, from Qing especially. We got Yue people, we got Han people, we got some Bedouins and Zhuang as well, and the best part is a lot of them are getting assimilated super fast. 36,000 getting assimilated per month is pretty good. So yeah, that's basically because of these two subjects in the south. We need to open up the actual Qing as well as Shandong and Manchuria. So then once we open up those borders, that's when we're going to get insane amounts of pops coming into here. Right now, Kanto or Tokyo itself is up to 400 million GDP, more or less half of our entire economy, and it's got 44 million population, more than it has today, I think, right? We also need to really double down on some things here. So for example, I want to go for mass production as well as I want to do some airplane production, but not everywhere. For mass production, I'm going to need more electricity, however, and more rubber. Luckily for us, we do have quite a lot of rubber producing subjects, but I think we kind of maxed out most of them, didn't we? Oh my God, did we? No, not all of them. Okay, we still have some of these. Some of these are not actually our subjects, but they will be in the nearby future, so I'm not too worried about it. More rubber on the world market is honestly extremely important for us right now. We are just starved of rubber in essence. We also need to get more trade centers. We've been building so much so fast that we forgot that we need trade centers to actually get this onto the world market, as well as import from the world market. We're also hovering around 9,000 construction. I'd love to get more construction, but it's all maxed out sadly right now. None of my states have the availability of increasing this. I was also able to get Qing to be loyal despite the Ottomans supporting their independence, those little shits. And I'm going to be able to get this even lower by keep on improving into their country. I've been building up a ton of stuff in Qing. In fact, their GDP has increased a lot. Look at that. Look at that line over there. You see that? That's from the second that we took charge of Qing. It just skyrocketed up as we're building primarily in Qing rather than in our own country right now. It's kind of funny, but I kind of suspect that we're going to get Qing to 1 billion before we get to 1 billion. Technically, that's our billion though, okay? For whatever it's worth. We're still 100 million GDP above the Russians, so we're still doing good. I haven't canceled my investment funds in them, but I feel like maybe I should though. They already hate my guts anyway. Still making a buttload of money off of them, so I don't know. I'm sitting right now on 5 point something mil, and we're gonna get a lot more than that once the investment pool starts transferring in. We're right now sitting on 4 million reinvestment, so if we pause our own construction and we let it all be on the private sector, we're currently getting 6.65 million in national revenue, which is just wild, dudes. I mean, really wild. We in essence have almost 4 million reinvestment funds. Basically, we don't have enough construction for the investment pool. So for me to have enough for the investment pool, I would need more provinces to build this in, which I don't have right now, unless I choose not to go toll with only Japanese core provinces and grab lands from my subjects. Then I would get super high amounts of income really fast. So we're basically limited right now by our own restrictions. Nobody's restricting us, just myself. Oh, right. And we're also trying to pass multiculturalism. We actually have quite a bit of support, not so much opposition anymore. We got a few good dice rolls. We're up to 25 extra from checkpoints, but this is going to be a tough one. I'm actually not sure this is going to pass. This is like the 3rd or 4th attempt we had at passing multiculturalism, so I'm not going to get my hopes up yet. Oh, I just realized in Kanto, we're producing refined steel. So we're producing 87,000 refined steel in Kanto alone. If we get more pops, we'd be able to produce probably 100,000 plus. Right? Imagine this. 750,000 people are working in the steel mills alone. That's insane. And the throughput bonus is 120 freaking 7. Holy schnitzel. Oh, what's happening? What is happening? We don't have legitimate government. Oof. Okay, let's try this. Are we still gonna be able to pass multiculturalism? Probably not. Okay, by freaking surprise and chance, we actually got to drafting phase with 30% still. Again, I'm not gonna call it because I've done that in the past and I got burned, and I'm just gonna ignore it, see what happens. Hopefully, if it passes, it passes. If it doesn't, I'm not gonna be surprised whatsoever. Jesus, man, our population is so freaking slowly growing. I need more pops. Come on, man. I've done everything I can, by the way. Look at this. I even went for freedom of movement as my last principle for the power block, and just there's just nothing I can do. Voting phase. Oh my god, please pass, please. Oh my god, if this passes, we're gonna get literally hundreds of millions of pops here, man. Please. I don't think I've ever been so excited about anything. But I'm having fun, man. This campaign is honestly one of the most fun I've had in a while. Also, check this out. 20,000 shortage of oil. There's literally a reason why I haven't switched over my electrical power plants to oil fire plant, because check it out. It would increase the global need by 25,000 from just one state alone. If we were to change oil, it would increase the global need by 30,000. That would kill the world economy. And also, it's cool to see that I'm making $1 million almost in profit from power plants alone in Kanto. Like, that's just wild. Dude, it happened. Holy shit, it happened. Okay. Oh my god, multiculturalism! I'm making a bookmark out of this. I'll post this bookmark on the Discord if you guys want to continue from 1928 with multiculturalism to see how OP you can get. Go for it. Holy shit. We have potential for 20,000 more trade in Kansai. Brother, what? What, the actual schnitzel, man? Okay, we need just an insane amount of trade centers. It's happening, boys. It's happening. People are starting to mass migrate to our country. Rajput Silistas beginning. Oh my god, I am in love with this. This is by far my favorite run in the past freaking 3 months, I guess. I'm just curious to see how much we can snowball now with the pops coming in. Now, to entice people even more, we're gonna have to get better legislation to make it more juicier coming to our provinces. Maybe poor laws is better better than no laws. Just a tiny bit of welfare. The goal would be old age pension though. Oh god, 4.16 million in reinvestment fund. So if we were not to build anything at all, we would still be making money right now, which is crazy. North Germs and cards are coming now too. And I got inventive achievement. Holy schnitzel, that means I cannot research anything anymore. That is actually crazy. So what are we doing with all the innovation? Absolutely nothing. And we got freaking 8 years to go and we are doing nothing with that. That's insane. Tatars. Okay, that's a actually interesting one. Russians, I'm not surprised. There is a buttload of them right now. And we just hit 1 billion, boys. Let me see this beautiful thing. We have, look at the line. Look at the line going up and down for the last freaking 20 years. That is crazy, boys. Crazy, I say. Our GDP per capita is 8.94. Who's got the best GDP per capita? I wish there was a map mode where you could see the GDP per capita. I think we have the best GDP per capita, don't we? Yeah. I mean, look at Qing by comparison, 1.14. And also, Qing went up from 200 million when we got when we got Qing as a subject, they had 200 million. Look at the line. They're literally double their GDP in like freaking 10 years. That is crazy, the potential for Qing. I think Qing is going to be the next campaign I'm going to do. If we get 3,000 likes on this video, I'm going to do Qing the next day, just to keep it on par with what I've been doing recently. So basically, if we get 3,000, the next day after we got 3,000, I'll do a Qing campaign, just so I can give you guys something back for watching my videos. I appreciate all the support, by the way, guys. And also just pointing out, if you want to get the next DLC for National Awakening DLC, use my link. I really would appreciate it. I get a commission on everybody that uses the link, and I promise I'll use all that money to play even more video games and not have to get a real job and just play video games the rest of my life. No, but jokes aside, that is literally how I feed my family, like affiliate codes and ads from videos and stuff. So I really appreciate even just considering using my link. It really means the world to me. How the freaking hell am I getting so many mass migrations? I got like, just talking for the past minute, I got like so many. And also there's a lot of them. Russians, we got 1.6 million Russians alone and growing. That is crazy, brother. So hold on. If we go then and we change from freedom of conscience to total separation, we're going to get even more because we increase the acceptance of everybody on the planet by 15. So we're going to get ridiculous amounts of pops coming in then. Oh, dude, I realize I still have consumption taxes. I do not need those at all. I'm going to cancel all of these consumption taxes. Also 8 million, by the way, and very low taxation. That is ridiculous. And what I'm going to do with all the extra authority now from having revoked all of those consumption taxes is I'm going to do a greener grass campaign in all of my states, my main states anyway. That way we get more pops migrating to our lands. This is crazy. Like, I'm getting migration after migration. It's kind of annoying because unless I pause the game, I continuously get a new migration. It is wild. Look at it, Swahili right after those guys. I basically don't even need to worry about subjects because the rest of the world is already coming to me without me needing to worry about subjects already. Now, one thing that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to change all of my siege artillery to heavy tanks. So heavy tanks are way better, but I have to actually delete my siege artillery because I cannot just upgrade siege artillery to heavy tanks. I got to delete these bad boys and then change over to heavy tanks and recruit another 50 units of heavy tanks. It's a little bit of an annoying thing, but it is what it is. You know it's going good when Norwegians are coming to your country though. And also literally every single one of my subjects is below the low liberty desire, with the one exception I think in Qing, which is going to become below there in a few seconds. So when that happens, I can make them a puppet as well. And then all of my subjects are going to be nice and red. It kind of sucks though because I got multiculturalism in 1928 or some shit, right? I remember. But if I was to get it initially in 1896 when I had my chance to, I genuinely would be way above now. Like it kind of sucks because I should have pushed for it. I should have cheesed it and reloaded the game. But yeah, I'm just curious now, how much GDP and how much pops would I have if I did that though? Look at my power block GDP. We're literally at 2 billion GDP if we include all of my subjects. And we're actually really close to overtaking the British. I should just build like an extra army. There you go. We're getting a 4th fleet because I think fleet gives a little bit more prestige. All right, let's see how I was going with Qing. We can officially make them a pupeticum beautiful. All of Asia is now our beloved color. All right, I got no words, boys. Like 5 million in reinvestment is crazy. And also curious what the rest of the world's doing right now. So we got basically nothing at all happening in Europe for the past freaking 70 years. Even Greece has somehow managed to weasel its way and not get puppeted or annexed by anyone. Oh, it's because they're part of the Russian Empire. Makes sense. I'm curious my graph of population. Oh, you can actually see when we got multiculturalism. It's so late. It's literally the last little part of the campaign. Oh, that's so sad. How much foreign pops do we have? We got 6 million. Actually, let's hold up. We got 82 million Japanese. Okay, so we got a decent amount of Japanese. And we got 5 million Russians. How many Russians are there, bro? Like, actually, how many Russians are there? They have been really breeding like a lot. Holy mother of God. Most of Siberia is already predominantly Russian. I'm curious what the world's going to look like with the next patch when you have the option of converting pops in their homeland by using the decree. That's going to be a very interesting patch for sure. I think that's going to be my favorite patch personally. Oh, that's cool. So the next emperor, Hiroshi, is a corporatist, which means he's on board with the wage subsidy regulatory body. I like this guy. This is kind of hilarious. We've got the Persians and the Ottomans on one side here with the line infantry, some of them, and on my side we've got literal tanks and whatever the shit this is. Wait, hold on a second here. Where's my tank sprites? I just realized we don't have any tank sprites, do we? Oh, that is so disappointing, dude. My army should have tank sprites. I'm not on board with this, bro. Oh, there they are. There they are. Oh, that is so cool. I got tank sprites, brother. Oh, that is so freaking cool. That's literally the German tank, isn't it? I forgot what it was called. The first initial German tank. They had like a handful of them during the First World War. That is so cool, man. And yes, I'm trying to end this campaign with the big juicy war for Persia. Why die for Persia, some would ask. Some interesting stuff in this campaign though. We've got a little company the Americans built, the Lee Wilson and Company. They got claims around and they're just, I don't know what this is about, honestly. Like, this is literally just a company that owns a part of Africa. Obviously it's a charter they got from the Americans, right? But they only own a little fraction here. They don't even own massive swathes of land. Most of the Congo is owned directly by the American Congo, a colonial nation. Liberia was conquered by the British and given to Senegal. Sokoto somehow managed to survive to stay alive until the end of the campaign without getting annexed by anyone. They still haven't done shit though. They basically have the same laws they start with. Did they even try to change their laws? What the hell happened here, bro? Maybe I need to do a new campaign with Sokoto. I love the fact that Tokyo, however, is at 600 million GDP almost, 52 million population, and the amount of money we're making from this is just crazy, guys. I mean, check this out. The Japanese metalwork conglomerate alone is basically getting a ridiculous, from one of their buildings, they're getting basically 400,000. We're getting 1.1 million profit from the automobile industry, 1.35 million from the steel mills, and imagine if we actually had enough population to fully have 1.3 million people working in here, we'd get like 2 million balance from this one company, this one factory alone. And the little war against the Persians is done. Feels bad, man. I kind of was hoping to drag that till the end of the campaign. If we look at the chart for Tokyo, look at all the different cultures in here. That is so insane. Han is second, US third, Korean fourth. South German is up there though. That's crazy. Did I mention that's crazy? Wait, what the hell? Why is the majority of people in Primoria Finnish? Like, what? What the hell happened there, bro? Oh my god, Russian fascist revolt? That is not how it historically went down, buddy. Alright, boys, December 30th, 1935, a day before the campaign ends. Let's see how we did, shall we? First off, our standard of living is at 26.2, so we are third in the world or something like that. The Ionian Islands and Hanover are a little bit above us. Population 140 million. We could have done a lot better with this if we did pass multiculturalism earlier. When I woke up and I was like, yeah, I'll just get pops from the Qing areas, it was a little bit late. I should have done that like beginning of the freaking campaign if I was planning to get 5 billion GDP. Otherwise it would have been impossible. I set myself up to fail basically. GDP wise, we're at 1.2 billion and we're followed up by the US, which has half of the GDP that we have, the Russian fascist and the British Raj. This was a bit of a mixed campaign because I kind of just wanted to play tall, but at the same time I kind of also wanted to min-max, and then I was like, do I really want to min-max? But then I did min-max. It was just a cluster schnitzel of everything where I both learned a lot of things and I figured out a lot of other things. So we got 300 million gold reserves. We've got an investment pool of 572 million and reinvestment of 5.4 million. So for us to make use of all of the reinvestment, we would have to have 20,000 construction. Here's the thing. I could easily get 20,000 construction if I was to own directly all of Qing, right? And also if I had all of Qing directly owned, I would have more than 5 billion by this point of the campaign. But I only own directly the Japanese core islands as well as the Joseon Peninsula. That's it. I don't even own Taiwan, nothing of the sorts. Individually, we've got the highest bidder here is 520 million GDP in Tokyo. It actually went down. It was at 600 billion at one point, so it did fluctuate quite a little bit. 50 million population as well. I think this also went down. I'm not sure about that though. Followed up by I think Kansai is second if I'm not mistaken. Around the rest of the world, not many states even get close to us. Maybe Bengal might be a little bit there. 117, 107. They're both at 117. That's kind of cool to see. We basically have all of Asia as subjects, and I mean puppet subjects, so they're really subjects, as well as we've got more than half of South America as subjects. How is Chile still a protectorate? There you go. Let's make these guys a puppet as well. There you go. Nice and red. I like it. Same here. We can make Ecuador a puppet, and apparently not North Peru. Well, whatever. Most of the subjects we have in South America are puppets. Parablock wise, we absolutely dominate. We've got 2.44 billion is a power block. Second is the British with 1.91 billion, mostly because of the British Raj, not because of Great Britain. Surprisingly, here's a big come up. Canada's got 334 million pops, GDP, which is way more than I expected them to have. I've noticed that Canada gets ridiculously strong in this patch especially, and it's still a minor power because it's a subject to the British Empire, of course. This makes me think that as a playing toll campaign, Canada might be one of the best nations because it only has a few states. Like how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 states, 7 states basically, if you lose this to the US, which might happen if the British gives it away. So like 7, 8 states, whatever, and you get 300 million GDP. That is actually wild. I don't know also what happened here, but they lost a lot of GDP at some point in probably one of the wars we had. I don't know. Oh yeah, I think they got occupied by the US at some point in the campaign. By contrast, the other puppet of the British, Australia, only has 97 million GDP, so a lot less than you would imagine. The Ottomans were a big contender at one point. I did get the chance to build in them, but not for too long. They rivaled me back, so this is mostly just other nations building in the Ottomans as well as themselves. I built in Austria a ton, and you can actually see when it started happening. Same with the Russians. I built a big chunk of that. France, I built a massive amount. I think it was around 1905 when I got the investment rights, so basically where the zigzag and the line there happens. Didn't get investment rights with the British, so that's 100% them. Not surprised by it though. Same with the Spanish. I got investment rights around the 1800s, late 1800s, and with the Italians as well after they unified, so I do own a massive chunk of the world. Cultural wise, 86 million Japanese, 20 million Koreans, 6 million UA, Han 5 Russians, 2 million Filipinos, and a little bit of everything. Quite literally, we have a sprinkle of every single pops on the planet, I guess, at this point, since most pops have really good acceptance, so they love to come over to our country as consequence. Religion wise, half of the population is Mahayana, the other half is Shinto. Not really half though. I didn't really manage to convert half of the population. They still predominantly remained Mahayana, and a lot of Confucian, because we have all of the pops coming in from Joseon and from Qing are basically Confucian, majority of them. Then we have a lot of Orthodox, 8 million, Catholics a little bit, Protestants, Sunnis 2 million, Theravada, Animist, Hindu, so literally everything. Atheists, we have 1 million. That is actually surprising. The upper class is just ridiculously rich. I mean, the average for standard of living for capitalist is 64 standard of living. That's insane. Like 70 for these guys here. That is actually insane. 72 for the brother. What is happening in this country? I think the lowest I've seen are machinists with 22, 21. Some of them are up to 28. So average standard of living in the country is really good. Even laborers are around average of 21 to 26. So it's really not bad even for them, which would be technically the lower strata, the lowest of the lowest anyway. Now we do have 55 peasants, only 55 in the entire country. That's it. Not 55,000, 55 peasants. These people are just, I don't even know what to tell you. They just refuse to get promoted for some reason because they should not be working in subsistence farms, because we've got so many spots for employment. Like this one alone, which is making us a weekly balance of 1 million. This one factory requires another 700,000 pops to work in it. So there's jobs. They're just not willing to work, I guess. That's my only assumption from that whole situation. Also, cool to see that we managed to get first prestige too. So we defeated the British with the prestige too. The prestige is a bit of an issue a lot of the times. The British are getting 5,000 from naval projection, whilst we are getting 3,000 from naval projection and 1.7 thousand from army. Speaking of, our army is all completely made up of mechanized infantry and heavy tanks. So we've got the most professional soldiers out there, and we've had them for the past 10-15 years at this point, I guess. If you have any other questions about the save, I'll make the save available on my Discord, and if you have any suggestions suggestions for what I should show at the end of the campaign, because I'm not sure what to show, honestly. Let me know in the comment section. I'm curious what you guys think. Hope you enjoyed this campaign. I had a lot of fun recording this. Remember to use my link if you're going to buy anything from the Paradox store. I really, really would appreciate it a lot. And until the next time, take care of yourselves. Remember, I love you. Too much? Okay, maybe a little bit.